Hello and welcome to High Ground Gaming. This is Eric. Tonight we're going to do another series from our top 100 board games as of April 2023. Tonight we're going to be doing numbers 30 to 21, which we previously just did on ID Gestures channel last Sunday. And we're going to be doing 20 to 11 tomorrow night. So I wanted to get this in before that. So anyway, let's get it started here. So starting at number 30 is a rather unique game. Has some kind of unique mechanisms, action selection, time mechanisms, which you have to pick tiles in order to put on your board in order to take actions. And depending upon how much time you have on your track on your player board, that determines your actions. There's other various mechanisms in the game too, which are pretty cool. Without further ado, my number 30 is Gentes, or Gentes. It's from 2017. It's rated number 807, strategy 444. It's a really cool game. It does have a solo mode in it. I think it did. But anyway, yeah, it does. It is a game where you're going to be picking. So these are the tiles that you're going to be picking, and in order to do various actions, there's a little bit of area control on the in the middle of the board here. There's quest, kind of like card completion, which unlocks different powers. Your player board is right on the side right here. It's kind of a sideways view of it, but these up top here are where you're going to be placing the tiles. And a lot of tiles require you to take time, so you're going to be putting time tokens as well as tiles up here, and you can fill, you can basically take turns until you get to this point here where, this red point right here where you can basically put seven tiles on here. You can unlock other time through various actions. You basically have 6 types of workers. You have 2 workers on each track, and the strength of your workers are used to play the cards here. So in order to get these cards, you're going to have workers of particular strength in order to play them. If you can't have more than 3 in your hand at one time, and if you're caught with them at the end of the game, you can lose points. But you hire different types of workers here in the upper right-hand corner here. There's ways to get money. There's ways to, not only do you have to get the cards in your hand, but you also have to take actions in order to play your cards. But some very cool mechanisms in it. It's just, it's one of my favorite games. Obviously, it's number 30, and that is Gentes. All right, so moving right along. Miss Mags is here too, as you can see behind me. Making an appearance here. Don't go on the table, Mags, so we got my other games Amsterdam set up there, so don't go up there, so it makes Mags can say hi here. Say hi, Mags. Alright, so number 29 is a video game that was made into a board game, a video adaptation, and it's a colonization type game in which you're going to be building building trades in the New World. And that game is part of the Anno series, and that is Anno 1800, which is my number 29. And this game could potentially move up as I play it more. It does have a, it shows it doesn't have a solo mode, but it does have a campaign solo mode that was made by the designer, which is Martin Wallace, who also has the number 1 game on Brass, Lancashire, and Brass, the other Brass one. The name escapes me right at the moment, but he's got 2 highly rated games on here, and this game is a game where you're going to be taking workers to produce resources, and those resources are going to be used to produce other resources, so it's a hierarchy of building. There's trading in the game. Sometimes you can't get the resources you need to trade with other players. It's pretty medium weight, 3.17. It does take a little long to play. It is kind of a long game the more players you have, obviously. but let me just show you here. But it is based on a video game IP, a very popular one. This is basically, in the middle is all the different industries you can build. Your player board is right here, down and below here, which you're going to be building all these different industries. You have different hierarchy of cubes. You have farmers, artisans, industrialists, just different entrepreneurs, just different, it's not industrialists, but different types of workers you can hire to produce resources. And then these other boards you can get by exploring, building ships and exploring the new world. You can get old world and new world tiles here, in which you're going to have to do a little bit of that to in order to fit those industries on. You're going to be fulfilling orders, basically getting contracts. These cards are contracts, and every time you get new workers, you have to get new contracts. So the game kind of progressively gets longer the more stuff you build in it. But a very fun, very satisfying game. A game I played at solo. Like I said, I played at 3-player. I think I played at 2-player. Might have played at 2-player, but anyway, definitely 3-player. I wouldn't play it probably more than 3 players because it does get long. But the hierarchy of different industries you build can get pretty high up there, and the game is set so that you have to trade with others too, and they get like a small thing in it. But anyway, Mags is messing up my game here. But anyway, this was Gentes right here, just to show you that I had it upside down. Gentes. And then this one right here is Anno 1800, again by Martin Wallace. Alright, and that is my number 29. Alright, number 28 and 27 are going to be related here. They are part of the trilogy of West Kingdom games by Shem Phillips and Sam McDonald. And the heaviest one is my number 28, and that is Paladins of the West Kingdom. Probably I don't know if it's my favorite. It was for a long time. And I brought the wrong other one down. But anyway, Paladins of the West Kingdom. That is my number 28. And just to show you, here we go. I will be right back. Alright, so Paladins of the West Kingdom. I'm ranked 64 overall. Strategy number 50. It's a game from 1 to 4 players. It does have a dedicated solo mode. Pretty heavy game, 3.71. Just to show you, there's the cover right there. And those are your player boards here on the ends here. There's 4 different player boards, and then in the middle is kind of like the common area, which you're going to be hiring workers, fulfilling king's orders. Each player has a group of paladins. I'm not sure exactly how many there are total, but anyway, it's a set. I think it might be 8. I'm just a guess there. But anyway, you have a deck of paladins, all of which have different powers and different workers that they give you. Each paladin will give you 2 colored workers. And the colors mean something in this game. They have powers unlocked underneath, and each round you're going to be drawing from the top of your paladin deck. You're going to be drawing 3 paladins, one of which you're going to play that round, one of which you're going to put on top of your paladin deck, and the other one you're going to be putting below the deck, so you won't see it for a while. It's kind of a cool timing mechanism, because beyond like the 2nd or 3rd round, you're not going to be anything you put on the bottom you won't see again. So you got to decide what tasks you want to complete and everything, in what order you want to do things in. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be getting other paladins through a common deck that comes out in the middle, in which you're going to be choosing different paladins, different workers in addition to the 2 that you keep. And you're going to also have workers that you can hire. On your board, you're going to be putting 2 or 3 of your little worker paladins, worker meeples, not paladins, but worker meeples on there in order to perform different tasks. You can make the task a little easier by setting up, I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but they're little green buildings that that are used to take up a spot, a worker spot, and then so it makes it easier to perform different actions. You're going to be doing garrisoning, missionaries. You can acquire debt in this game. You're going to be building fortifications up top. These cards up top are fortifications, which you get different bonuses. The main attributes are strength, faith, and it's attack power. Yeah, strength is red, faith is black, and blue is, I think, is some sort of what do you call it? Yeah, the name is influence, like an influence type thing. And you're going to be going up on those tracks, and depending upon how high your influence is you're going to be able to perform the tasks on your board, which require different influence. You're going to be recruiting some of these invaders that come to either through faith. You're going to be doing them. You're going to be converting them into Christianity, and either that or you're going to use your strength to attack them as they come in. And there's going to be if you convert them, you can put them on the bottom of your deck, and they'll have endgame scoring. If you attack them and kill them, basically, you're going to be getting certain resources from the killing there too. But it's a very involved game. It's a pretty heavy game. The AI in it, when you play solo, can be a little fiddly. It does require. It's not a very easy AI to run. It's pretty complicated, and it does take a lot of your energy to run it. But once you get it, it's not too bad. But it is a fairly involved AI, and that is my number 28, and that is Paladins of the West Kingdom. All right, so I did get the other game. So the other game in the West Kingdom series is my number 27, and that is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. This game is, you can see it's the highest rated one as far as score goes, 7.9. It's not quite as high up on the BGG list. It's the most streamlined of the three, with the Pune Architects, Paladins, and Viscounts. This was the last one in the series. It's a game that flows really well. Uses a lot of the same mechanics as they do in the other two games, but adds kind of some unique elements to it. Let me show you here. It's got a center board here that's modular. I think it's 5 pieces in which you're going to be, and then in the middle is like a castle area, a plastic castle little area that you're going to assemble. And the boards are, like I said, are modular. They can go in a different order. So no two games will be the same. There's 4 basic actions in this game. There's trading. There are manuscripts. There are putting nobles in the castle, and the last one is building buildings. So that if you stay on the outside track with your Viscount is this big figure here. You can perform the trading and the building activities. If you go on the inside, you're going to be doing the castling and the manuscripts actions. Your player board are these boards here. There is a faith versus corruption track in the middle, which you're going to be having discs in, which I think I can show you in a minute. There's debts, and there's deeds in the game, which determine the end of the game. So this right here is kind of like your player board right here. So these buildings, when they come off, they unlock special powers. These cards right here, it's got a kind of a cool, like, Dominion type, trading card type thing. So basically your deck, you're going to be building your deck, and you can hire the workers from the board here. If you're in the region, you have an option of hiring them. Some of them will give you corruption. So basically what ends up happening is you start off with one worker. You start from left to right, and you place a worker down, and then at the end of your turn, you'll slide it for your next turn. You'll slide it. You'll count up to your hand limit, which you can increase by unlocking buildings, and then you put another worker down and slide the other one down. So eventually you'll have 3 workers there, and what you do is if you take a certain action, you count the number of icons in that action. That determines the strength of that action. There's also ongoing powers at the bottom of the cards. Once a card drops off, there's a drop off. Some cards have a drop off power, which are a benefit, which can be good or bad. There's majorities like in the manuscripts area. This center of the board is pretty cool right here. Like I said, this is the faith versus corruption area, and they're going to be starting off at polar opposites, but as you get cards and do actions that require you to take corruption or add faith or whatever it is, I think it's faith, they come together, and when they clash in the middle, different things happen. You get a certain amount of deeds and debts if you're the person that caused it, as well as other players will get either good or bad stuff too, depending upon how much corruption they have. The solo AI is fairly easy to run. There's different types of AI in the game, which specialize in the 4 different areas, either building, trading, manuscripts, or castling in the middle. I tend to like to go in the middle there and fight over the castle, because the castle has different rings in it, has an outer, a middle, and an inner ring, and eventually what you want to do is the closer, if they get to the middle, they're worth 3 points at the end. The middle track is worth 2 points, and then the outer track is worth 1. And whenever you have 3 of your nobles in the castle of your color, one will go forward and the other 2 will go to the other sides, and when they move forward, you'll get benefits from it. There's like a majority for the center of the castle too, and you can score a lot of points. I've scored as close as half my points for the game just by doing that. So if nobody contends for that inner castle there, you can pretty much run away with that majority. But anyway, this is a lot of stuff in the game and a lot of replayability. It's a really fun game, and definitely the most smooth lined of the West Kingdom games, and that is Viscounts of the West Kingdom, which is my number 27. All right, moving on to number 26 is a huge game with one of my favorite mechanisms in any game, and that is the Cube Tower, and that is Amerigo. So let me get that. Where is it? Oh, it's on the ground here. It's a huge game, so I have it on the ground. It's a big box. It's not a very heavy box, but it's a big box, so it's Amerigo, based upon came out in 2013. It is a Stefan Feld game, the only one in this range here, but I just wanted to show you show you the cool mechanism that's here. And this is the Cube Tower right here. It comes with a tray at the bottom, which you put on, and then if you can see inside here, you're going to be dropping cubes in here, and some of them get stuck in here, and the cubes that come out determine the strength of your actions, which is kind of neat, but it does work. And it is being re-implemented in one of the City Collection games by Stefan Feld and Queen Games called Marrakesh, which is going to be using hexagonal pieces. These use cubes and stuff. But it works really well. So let me just show you a little bit of the actual game. So number 456 overall, 7.4, 281 strategy. So this is the basic action mechanism here. These are the different types of actions you can take. Blue is the shipping, and it goes all the way around. So what you'll do is, I think there's 7 of each color. And in the beginning of the game, what you do is you seed the tower with, you drop each pile of cubes in, and then whatever comes out, you put back, into these little areas right here. Looks like a couple of the red are stuck in there because they only have 5 there. The black is like a cannon action, which is, they attack you. The pirates attack. This green area, the red area here, I think is where you can get building tiles. yeah, I think so. And then this brown area is where you can get like bonus tiles. The green area is where you put your building tiles you got on the map, which is a modular map, which I'll show you in a second. The yellow area is a commodity area, which you can get various commodities in different islands. And then finally, the white area is kind of a wild area, which has a track as well as allows you to take any action. So basically, the premise of the game, so what's going to happen is say it's after you seed the tower, you would drop all the blue cubes back in once again, and some blue cubes will come out, but also probably colors of other actions. And whatever colors come out, those are the different types that, even though it's the main action is the blue action, you can take any one of the colors that take out and take that action. The strength of the action is whatever comes out the highest. So say if 4 blue came out and 3 black and say 2 green, then you can take the black, the blue, or the green action at a strength 4 because 4 blue came out. So it's a pretty cool mechanism for determining your actions and everything. And basically what ends up happening is you go all the way around this rondel and you take 7 different cube droppings into the tower. And then at the end of that, you have I think this is like a scoring, and then you do another round. And then I think it's either 3 or 4 rounds. I'm not sure exactly how many, but it's a very, very cool mechanism in a game. This is the modular map, and it looks like this might be set up for 3 players possibly. But depending, I think it's 5 rounds actually. Yeah, it is 5 rounds. These islands, like I said, when you put these boards together, there's certain rules to putting the boards together, and islands of a certain size will have treasure chests on them, which you can get. But you're going to be placing your trading posts and these tiles on it in order to explore the islands, and then collecting these resources that are on the islands. It's just a very, very fun game. I really wish they would do a reprint of this. This is like I said, more the main board here. These are pirate tokens, which you're going to reveal one every round, and you're going to have to fight off a certain amount of pirates, and it only gets progressively more and more as the game goes on. But these black are cannons you're going to get, and you have to have at least as many as the pirates there, or else you suffer losses. And then these are the bonus tiles you can get. These yellow ones are where you're going to put the trade commodities like coffee, cotton, and other resources right there. This track right here on the outside with different colors on it is the white action track. And depending when you take a white action, you can either take where your it also determines turn order, but where your disc is, you can either take that color action, or you can go up a certain amount depending upon the strength of the action there. And when you get to the end, you get a certain amount of victory points, bonus points at the end of the game for advancing farther on the track. You also, on your personal player board, there's tracks on there too. This is your personal player board too. Not very exciting to look at, but it has a gold track on the bottom. It has the cannon track there. It has a technology track which runs around the board here, and then you can have up to 5 different bonus tiles or technologies which you'll get based upon how far you get on this technology track there. Up top is where you're going to be putting the resources you get, and not only do you have to get the resources, but you have to get multipliers from the market. You have to get multipliers from the market times resources that are on the main board by exploring, and a combination of those two determine your how many points you get. So it's a pretty cool system there. There's the tower there with the dish down below and everything, but that's really a fun gimmicky thing, is that tower there, which is very fun to use, and I enjoy the game. The game does flow pretty fast. It does, for a 3-player game. You can probably play it in about an hour and a half, but it will go over 2 hours if you add another player to it. So, but it is very fun, very satisfying game, and good fun per minute. And that is Amerigo, which is my number 26 by Stefan Feld. All right, number 25 is a game which I think is the only game this designer has put out. Normally the theme I wouldn't like in a game because it's kind of a television, old England type families battling against each other type thing, but that game is by Gentes Games, and that game is by Dan Halligan, which is he's an awesome designer, does his own videos, and really works with his people that play the game, with the people that he works to make the game better. As you can see, it's an 8.2. It's in the top 100. It's ranked 88 overall. Thematic 22. And basically, it's Victorian families battling against each other for reputation. So renovate an estate, manage servants, and pursue romance in Victorian England. But a very fun, satisfying, kind of like a activity. You're going to be forming different activities. The production value in the game is off the charts. Each family has little player boxes. These are the cards that he made. This is actually the designer's cat here, who he gave all these prestige tokens to. You don't actually play with the cat. You can, I guess you could. But these are the tiles that you're going to be putting in your estate in order to perform different activities, and try to lure more prestige guests in. These are the different boxes that come in the game for each family. There's a couple of expansions for it. Very well done. It's had a couple Kickstarters. Let's see if I can show you some other stuff there. These are the different servant meeples. These are the ones with screen printing. I don't have the ones with screen printing, but you have your different ladies' maids and butlers and valets that you can hire. This is like a player board right here, which you're going to be building a prestige value. This is the main board here, in which you're going to be going through different rounds. You're going to be having different courtships, and you're trying to win the favors of one of the Fairchilds, either the brother or sister, I think, whose parents died or something like that, and you have to win the favor of them. And if you have the highest in a certain category, each month, after each certain number of rounds during the courtship phase, you can win the favors of that servant. Of that Fitzgerald, I think is their last name, either the lady or the guy, and they give you certain powers and perform a very powerful card which you can use. But there's a market. We can buy extra tiles, and like I said, prestige guests and ordinary guests. There's also bad guests in the game, which can give you negative reputation. These are the different servant tiles you have in the game. But this is your player tableau here, which you have different categories. You have essentials, service, estate, I can't think, prestige, and then I think one of them is like sporting. And you can either have an open courtship or a closed courtship, which adds variability to the game. But yeah, just a very fun game, very unique theme, and a game that I really enjoy. It does have a BGA adaptation on it. It's on Board Game Arena, which is done very well. But there's a short game and a long game you can play too. There's VP cards you can get, just all kinds of different cool things. And like I said, there's an expansion, upstairs, downstairs expansion, which adds more tiles, more guests, and a lot of the tiles were made by players in the game and then implemented during the Kickstarter, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, very fun game though, very satisfying game. And like I said, a great solo mode, which you're battling against different families of different levels of prestige, and which are strong in different areas. So, which you get progressively harder as you do it. So it tests your abilities in the game. But a very fun puzzly type game to try to figure out. And that game is my number 26, and that is Obsession. So number 25 is an older game from 2004, probably the oldest game, definitely on this area of the list, and I think it might be one of the oldest games on the list that I have. It's a game from 2004, so it's not that long ago, but it is in modern board game era. It's towards the early part of that, and very fun, satisfying economic game by Friedman Freeze, and that is Power Grid. I just have the base game. I don't have the recharge version of the game. I just have the basic game. Great game. The original rule book is, at least, is a mess. I can maneuver through it, but it's not easy. I have a printed version from BGG, which I use. But basically, bid, network, and manage resources in a race to supply cities with power. That's the name, Power Grid. From 2 to 6 players. It does have a solo mode on BGG, which I played. Very fun game. Just a very, like I said, economic game. It's got a resource market. It's got a very cool auction system in it. It is ranked number 55 overall, strategy 54. Again, from 2004. Let's see if I can show you here. These are the different power plant cards which you're going to use to produce power. This is like a map of, looks like England area. So basically you're going to be putting power in the different cities here, and in order to link up the cities, you have to pay the linkage charges as well as the city, and it gets progressively more. There's 3 rounds in the game, and each round it gets progressively more expensive to build, and the further you go out, the more expensive it is to build. There are different maps available, all maps of the world, which have some different rules in it. I think the basic maps are Germany and the United States, but then they have other expansions you can get with different maps. These are basically just cylinders for the resources. You have coal, gasoline, nuclear power. Nuclear, and I think I can't think of the other one. The money, unfortunately, it's paper money, which I can't stand, so I usually use a substitute. Well, I try to use a substitute when I play. This is a map of the United States and Canada. It's like Canada over here. So let me show you the player board. That's Canada. I'm going to show you the actual. Let's see here. These are the power plant cards here. Let's see. So basically, it's kind of hard to see here, but the market. The market's not good in here. Down below is your resource area. Oops. Which you're going to be putting each round. You're going to be putting oil and gas and coal and all that stuff, but it can get progressively more expensive if a lot of people are using the same power source. So you're going to want to diversify there to save money on that. Yeah, those are the different resource cubes. Yeah, these a little better thing with the Trek. I think it's uranium or something like that might be the other one. Let's see here. I'm sure we can find the market in here somewhere. But yeah, there's a future market, and there's a current market and a future market. There's, I believe it's 3 power plants which you can choose from in the regular market, and then there's a future market which show the power plants that are going to come in eventually. Yeah, I don't see anything really good. Yeah, this is kind of a good example. Some games is 4. But anyway, up top, down on the bottom here, this is the current market. Those are the different power plants you can choose from, and basically what's going to happen is, I think it's either in player order or reverse player order. One person will put up one of these power plants for bid, and then depending upon whether or not you pass or you continue with it, whoever wins that auction is, if it's the player who put the auction up for bid, then they get to then they'll be out since they won something. But if they don't win and somebody else wins the auction, then they'll put something else up for bid. And when one of these goes away, then they'll fill in number order. It's like say if number 9 get bought out, then 19, 14, and 20 you'll draw one from the top of the pile and see where it fits in. If it's a low number, then it'll fit in towards the bottom, and then if not, it'll go into the other market, and then one of the ones from the future market will come in and take place of it. But it's got a really cool auction system, which he did use in a couple of other games, such as First Sparks and a little bit in what's the other game? The Egyptian game there, Fayum. He put a similar type market system in that one. But this is definitely his most popular game. This is his breakthrough game, and he's either hit or miss, but this is definitely a hit for me and for a lot of people. It's by Rio Grande Games. And these are the different houses you put out. So very fun, satisfying game. And that is Power Grid, which is my number 24. All right, moving right along. I didn't get the... this is a game by Flying Frog Productions, dice chucking goodness game. And this is the highest rated game I have by them. I did not get the big box version out because it was just too heavy. I put it away, and I just took out a couple of expansion packs, which I'll show you. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they went. Oh, right here. I do not have Power Grid with me, but this was Obsession right here. Power Grid I thought I had, but I don't. So these are, this is the game here. It is a Touch of Evil, 10th Anniversary Edition, 8.3. This is the Collector's Edition, 10th Anniversary Edition, which basically has a lot of different villains in it, has a lot of heroes in it. Doesn't have the expansion packs in it. You can add other hero packs, which I have right here. This is Hero Pack 2. Of course, I'm doing it in the wrong order. This is Hero Pack 1, which adds other heroes to the game. But a very fun game. It's set in the Revolutionary War period, in which you're going to be fighting different villains, such as the Headless Horseman, the Banshee, just different types. You'll probably see more of here. This was the original one. There's a Touch of Evil Supernatural game right here. It has this came with one map. The other games have two maps to them. I mean, each big box expansion has a map they add to it, so it all has three boards. So this is the original set right here. Original board of Shadowbrook, town of Shadowbrook, which is in New England. You're going to have different town elders that you can have, which either are good or bad, depending upon the secrets that they have. So you can hire them to help you, but they can also turn bad and go with the villain. There's different decks. So each of the corner locations has a deck, a windmill, the manor, the old woods, and something else. I can see that here. Yeah, I can't remember what. Banding Keep, I think it is. So each one of those has a deck which has monsters in it. It has different weapons in it. It has good and bad things in it. The town center is where you're going to be doing a lot of your training, as well as being able to draw event cards. The currency in the game is investigation tokens, which you're going to try to collect in order to, buy gear, to get lair cards, to try to find out where the villain is hiding or his minions are hiding. There's a minion chart. It's basically, if you played any Flying Frog games, there's a hero phase and then there's a villain phase. In this one, the villain phase can be really bad in this. You draw like different cards in it, which are usually all bad, which give the villain power or cause some like permanent effect. A card that stays in play, which you can remove. There's ways to remove it, but it can cause bad things to happen. You can be sailing along. There's a villain track in here, which is right in the middle here, which if you played any Flying Frog games, such as Shadows of Brimstone or Touch of Eve, or Last Night on Earth, those games, Fortune and Glory, it's a villain track here, and if it gets to the end, you lose the game. The villain gets tougher and tougher as it goes further down the track. It's just, and then you have your hero cards here, which if you played any Flying Frog games, typical. They have their powers in it. They have like agility. They have cunning, different traits which you're trying to build, spirit, which you're going to try to build up. So you play as a certain amount of heroes. It's a great solo game. It's a great cooperative game too. Let's see here. You can do it competitively also. These are the different cards that can come, objective cards. This is in one of the expansions that you can get. Somebody painted one of the minis here. The mini quality is pretty good. These are different busts that are available in the, these are the town elders, which are in the 10th anniversary edition, part of that. Pretty cool. This is from the 10th anniversary edition. This is the abandoned keep that was somebody painted. Little plastic pieces here to add a little bit of 3D-ness. This is the manor, the old woods, the windmill. Yep, shows it on the board here. I don't have mine painted, but it does add some atmosphere to the game. Very thematic game. Yeah, just a really fun game. I like the way the board is set up too. It's just it's very plain and simple. The board itself, but it works. Yeah, those are some of the heroes painted up. That's the Spectre right there. He's good at getting exploration tokens. His wound tokens on here. Again, this is just the main board of Shadowbrook. These are the villain cards right here. The hero cards, different stacks of cards, and you can add all kinds of expansion packs to it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think this game. So the other expansions, there's Something Wicked expansion, which adds another board to it. And then there's a third one, The Coast, which adds another board about this size too. Yeah, these are investigation tokens on each one of the heroes here. So basically what it is you try to collect investigation, strengthen your characters, get equipment, and then have a find a lair card, find out where the enemy is, and then have a big battle at the end. It can be surprisingly hard, like I said, hard to win this game too. You can be going really well, then all of a sudden you hit a bad streak and you're done. But it's very fun and very satisfying, and they did have actors make the cards, which makes it kind of B-movie-ish, but very cool. The theme really works in it. There's a vampire, one of the villains in it. Again, like I said, they can have town elders help them out. But yeah, definitely a very fun, satisfying game. And that is Touch of Evil, which is my number 23. All right, number 22 is a game by Vladimir Suchy, which he did Underwater Cities, which was on ID Gestures and a list. But this is one of his earlier games, which has a ton of rondels in it. And that game is Shipyard. So basically you're going to be building ships that match your objectives and send them to test runs for points. The ships are like kind of like Titanic-looking ships, which you're going to be building, hiring a captain, and outfitting those ships and taking them on a kind of like a maiden voyage. There's a specific name for it. I just can't think of the name of it, but it's kind of a maiden voyage you take them on. So you're going to be hiring crew here. These are the different crew that you can hire. Down below here, these are the different ships somebody's building. This you can outfit them with sails or with smokestacks, or have different clientele go on them. There's ship parts you need to get, and again, these sails and stuff add different powers to your ship, add speed to your ship. These island areas here are an area which your ship is going to travel on, getting bonuses depending on how fast it can go. These right here, a couple of the rondels. This is rondels which you can get equipment on, or people, captains, military people. This is where you can a resource market where you can get different trains which are filled with different goods on them, and then you can turn them into to either get money, or which are called guilders in this, or you can do these to get different ship parts also on them. Right here in the inner track right here. This is the track you're going to go around in order to hire employees on it here. These are employees that you can hire, which gives you different abilities. Yeah, lots of pieces and lots of stuff in it. These are the different ship parts you can get, the market for them, the different island parts, which you're gonna, like I said, you can buy those. This to the right here is the action board here, and you have all the different actions kind of like going in a circle here, like a rondelle, and you put your meeple guy on a certain action. You can take that. If somebody else is on it, you can't take that action, so there's blocking in it. And the trailing action at the end will come forward, thus, and then the action basically will go around this circle. And when it completes a certain amount of laps around the circle, the game is over. But it's a really cool mechanism for taking actions there too. And just when you want to take a certain action, somebody might block it. So it does have a little bit of take that in it, which is kind of neat. But very satisfying game when you build all your ships and everything. Like I definitely need a Plano box for this. These are the different ships somebody built, but you can look at all your different ships that you built. It's very cool. You get a sense of accomplishment from the game. But yeah, definitely a very fun game. And that is Shipyard, which is my number 22. Alright, rounding out this list is a game that was on ID Gesture's list. I know that for sure. A game that we played on BGA together. I think it was one of the first games that we played on BGA. But that game is a game with different wheels that you're going to be putting your workers on, and the wheels all interlocked, and when you spin one, all the other wheels move. And that game is Tzolkin, the Mayan calendar. Right here is the game I got in trade. Well, not trade, but my buddy Dave, I got it from one of his buddies who was looking to get rid of it, and I got it for a good deal. The Tzolkin, the Mayan calendar, as you can see, it's rated 7.9, which is really high. 54 overall on the BGG. Strategy number 49. It's a game from 2012, which you basically lead your people, build monuments, and make offerings to earn the favor of the gods. So this is a pretty heavy game, 3.67, 2 to 4 players. Does not have a solo mode that I know of. At least I haven't played it. But these are like interlocking gears here. The different gears do have different things on them. The green gear is generally where you're going to get corn, which is the main resource in the game. You do have to feed your tribe after so many rounds. Game takes place over, I want to say it's either 24, 28, I think, rounds. And each one of these tooths here, once it spins around, I think it's 28, something like that. But you're going to be putting your workers in the middle here in these little areas and these circles here. And each round, it's going to click up to get a more powerful action generally. But this is where you generally get corn. You can clear the forest to get wood. There's a resource wheel is the second one. The third one is a wheel you can get extra, is a building wheel, which you're going to be, you can build buildings with or advance on different tracks, technology tracks, get benefits from agricultural and resource wheels every time you take an action on there. This yellow one is a way to get more workers and a way to exchange corn for, to build buildings. Like I said, to get extra workers, or the more powerful ones, you can take actions from any wheel if you get a worker really high up. This last track, the Chicken Pizza one, I think I call it the Chicken Pizza track, is where you're going to be going up to go up on the temples. You're going to be putting blue skulls in it, which you can get from the resource wheel, and then you're going to be able to go up on different tracks and higher up to get extra resources, that kind of stuff. There's buildings and monuments you can get. Let me just show you. These are the skulls which you can be placing on there. We can show you here. Yeah. A lot of people paint the wheels on this. That's the main board here. So down below here are there's monuments that are set monuments for the whole game. Down below here, there's an era 1 and era 2 I think it's 1 through 14. 0, 1, rounds 1 through 14, and then 15 through 28 are the Era 2. So there's different tiles, sets of more powerful tiles that come out later. There's expansions which you can have asymmetric powers of different tribes. These are the 4 technology tracks right here, which you go up on, you get extra resources and benefits there. Temples you go up on, which you can get extra resources as well as points from them, the higher you go up on those. Everything in the end gets converted to corn, and that's basically your scores in kind of corn, I guess it is. Well, victory points get converted to corn, that kind of stuff. What else? So what's really cool about this game too is that each round you're going to be either doing one of two things. You're either going to be putting workers on the wheels and paying corn, a certain amount of corn, to place those workers. The higher up they are, the more corn you have to spend. And the more workers you place, the more corn you have to spend. First worker is free if it's on the lowest part of the wheel. Let's see what else. You can beg for corn if you don't have enough. There's a way you can claim first player and advance the tracks, the wheels. So basically, you're either going to be putting workers on and paying corn, or you're going to be taking workers off and getting the benefits from wherever those workers were. You can't do both in the same action, so that you kind of have to plan things out, and there's a lot of strategy in it. I'm not very good at the game, but it's still very fun to play and very satisfying. And that is the last game of this series. That is my number 21, and that is Tzolkin, the Mayan calendar. All right, so we're down to the top 20. So stay tuned next week, or tomorrow night, actually. Depending upon when you're watching this, maybe even tonight, depending if you're watching this on Sunday. We're going to be doing on ID Gesture's channel with ID Gesture, Lower Slower Board Gamer, and Phoenix Knight, and myself. We're going to be counting down our number 20 to 11, so we're getting close to our top 10. So these games are getting really, really good. So stay tuned for that. It's at 8 o'clock on Sunday nights for the next 2 weeks. And so next week we'll be doing our top 10. So, yeah. So anyway, so this is my number 2011. This is Eric from High Ground Gaming. So take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next part of this Top 100 series. Bye-bye now.